Hello, and welcome back to Let's Talk Chicago Bears. How is everybody today? It's Friday. I'm sure you're all happy back home or wherever you're watching me. Um, so let's get to the show, huh? We're not doing any stats on the Bears games because there is no more for this season. But there will be back in September. So, and hopefully things will be looking up back then than they are now, right? So let's get to talking about what happened this week and late last week this week, excuse me, when they fired Nagy and Pace on Monday. Well, first of all, before I get to that, I want to apologize. I had a bad show on Monday. I went back and listened to that. Wow. I should have. I was like so excited that Nagy got fired, I couldn't even speak or think. I kept saying the wrong things. My head was not in the game, and I apologize. You know I'm better than that. I think we should start a new game next season. How many times will Lynn misspeak a name? Right? There's one a show, you know that. So, anyways, let's talk about the Bears and what they did this week. So we all know they fired Nagy and Pace. Fucking finally. I mean, I wasn't 100% on Pace getting fired, although he's done some bonehead moves. So I didn't care as much as Nagy. I wanted him gone. And then I was reading some stuff today and this really makes me mad about Nagy, because if you watched my show last season, you know how I feel about Mitchell. It said Nagy never wanted Mitchell when he came here in 2018. Now, Mitchell was already on the team because he was drafted in 2017. So, it's like, but so it showed. Because after the 2018 season, Mitchell completely changed because Nagy tried to make him something he's not. And then there's also a report that came out of Chicago that after the season from 2019, obviously before they got rid of Mitchell, him and Nagy were supposed to have a meeting and talk about how to improve playing for him. So Mitchell shows up at Hallis Hall with his notes, and this Nagy never showed up. What an asshole. So disrespectful. Asshole, what did that say? You know what? You know what? I told you many, many times in my last season that Nagy screwed Mitchell up. I'm not saying that Mitchell was going to be, I've never said he was going to be a Tom Brady or Ben or, any of those guys. But I think he could have been a solid quarterback with decent playing, and he could have taken you to the playoffs. I really do. But, so, I just want to tell you, that just shows you what a fucker Nagy is. And he's gone. Yes. So I started to think about on Monday at evening and Tuesday about that press conference that George McCaskey did. And the more I thought about it and the more I read, the more pissed off I got. George, thinking about it, he sounded like a politician. He never really answered most of the questions, and he sounded like a doofus. He's a very nice man, but I don't know. So one question was asked to him, and this is what he said about, a GM and a new coach. He said, "I'm a okay. He's a very nice man, but a football businessman he is not, I don't think." I'm having doubts now about after hearing that press conference, you know what I mean? And I've been reading so many negative things about it coming off of it, and no one is happy with it. It sounded like the same old thing, and of course, the one statement that George made that just blew most people away is, "I'm a football fan, not a football guy." What does that mean? And you're picking the GM and the head coach, and the GM's reporting to you now, George? That's the big change? Not to Ted Phillips, but you're not a football guy? Ooh, I think you want to step that back a little bit, my friend. I don't know. It concerns me, but I'm trying to stay positive. My son was getting all upset, and I said, you know what? They fired Nagy. We should be happy about that. Well, let's move forward, and let's wait and see and be positive. You know what I mean? So let's see what happens. You know, he news press conference was really a cluster. You know what? And so I don't know. I'm just going to hope that Bill Polin, the guy they got, is going to help the Bears figure this out. Because he does know football, that's for sure. And clearly the Bears on the upper office does not. So, but you got some talent, so let's see what they do, okay? So the Bears are casting a wide web of head coaches' interviews, which I like. They didn't do that the last time around. And they're looking at both defensive coordinators and offensive coordinators. I, deep down, and I know this is probably not going to happen, but I would prefer a coach that has coached in the NFL as the head coach. I know everybody needs a chance, but I don't know. That's me. But that's me. I know I don't think it's going to happen, but I kind of would like it. And I don't want it. Now, here's the ones I don't want. And I don't want one of them to be Doug Peterson, who was the Philadelphia Phillies coach when they won the Super Bowl in, 17 or 18, whenever it was. Actually, I think it was 17. And then he got fired 2 years later. I don't know. I don't want him. I don't want Dan Quinn, who is currently with Dallas as their defensive coordinator. But if you remember, he was the Atlanta head coach when Atlanta was winning the Super Bowl handily. And the fourth quarter came around, and all the Atlanta Falcons were running around congratulating each other, and they still had a whole quarter to go. And if you do or do not know what happened, New England came back and won that game. What was the score? It was like 28-3 in the fourth quarter, and New England came and won that game because he didn't keep his players' heads in the game. They still had a quarter to go. They didn't finish. Do not want that guy. No. And then Todd Bowles is the defensive coordinator for Tampa Bay. I don't want him either. But that's just me. What I like, and we all know this, of course, is I would love Jim Harbaugh. Now, the thing is, what was confusing me was I was looking at all the other teams that were interviewing head coaches, and Jim Harbaugh's name wasn't on any of them. So I'm like, what the heck? So then I found out that you have to list, the names that you're going to interview, except for you do not have to list college coaches that are still coaching in college. So if you want to interview Jim Harbaugh, you don't have to put it on the list for everybody to see. So that's why I couldn't find him out there. But Jim has said, yesterday I read that he seems like pretty content at Michigan. So I don't know, but boy, I would like Harbaugh. I think that would be great. I also like that Brian Daboll from the Bills. He's the offensive coordinator. And my son and I don't agree on this. I kind of like Leslie Frazier, too, who is the defensive coordinator for the Buffalo Bills. And he was a head coach for Minnesota years ago. He was there, 3 years. And the first year he was there, they won and went to a playoff game. And then the next 2 years they did not do very well, and then he got fired. So, but maybe he's learned, sometimes the first head coaching doesn't always work out. You make mistakes, you learn. So, and he obviously was a Chicago Bear. I know some people like that, some people don't. I kind of like it because you get the history, you get the importance, you get the fan base, you understand it. But he's a defensive coordinator, so I don't know. I believe that I think we need an offensive minded head coach, and then you can go out and find a good defensive coach. I mean, I wouldn't mind keeping who we have now as our defensive coordinator. I have no problem with him because, in my opinion, he got better and better and better as the season went on. As you notice, the defense, even with all the injuries, they did get better. And I kind of liked him. So I'd be fine with him, but a new head coach has all the say, so I doubt that he'll be back. And then Brian Leftwich, the offensive coordinator for the Tampa Bay, he's been around a while, and he offers a lot of positivity, a lot of positive things he brings to the table, and I think he could be a good choice. And it's not people like, oh, he's got Brady. That's probably what makes him look good. Yeah, Brady's helping him look good, but he's also working with Brady, and he's willing to work. And I don't know. I see him as a team player kind of coach, all in. Let's do things to the strength of our team. So I like him too. So let's see what happens. It'll be very, very interesting to see what the Bears do. And I hope. I heard somebody say that they'll be done by next week. I hope so, because I don't want all of a sudden the team start hiring coaches and the Bears miss out. I just don't want them to make a mistake. There are some good candidates out there, so let's see. There was a few other guys. There was one guy from Green Bay, their offensive coordinator. He's being interviewed. There's other people. And then they're doing the GM. I don't get involved and don't know that much about GMs, to be quite honest with you. So I just like to stick to what I know and what I feel comfortable with talking about, and that's head coaching. So we'll see. I don't know. I just wish the Bears would get going and get this rocking and rolling and moving. I just pray to God they don't screw this up, because we've got a quarterback that, with the right head coach and offensive coordinator, could be good, I think. He's got a few issues, like he likes to fumble the ball a lot, and I hope they work on that. And when this new guy comes in a lot, he needs a little bit more discipline, but with an offensive line, he could be good. I'm hoping. So let's hope, okay? So let's see what they do. After that press conference, you just don't know. I mean, it just sounded like the same old shit. Although, one thing I remember, and it stuck out in my mind, is McCaskey said money was not an issue. He didn't say it in that form, but basically money is not an issue. So everybody says the Bears are cheap. That's the big thing. He's saying it's not an issue. And so we'll see. Put your money where your mouth is, George. So, and after they make their selections of a GM and a coach, I'm going to be writing George another letter. And if you haven't listened to my show before, I've got letters up here. 1, 2, 3. I had written to George, and he hand wrote them back to me, answers. It's really cool. And I've talked to him on the phone. He gave me his phone number. I know, right? Okay, so let's talk. They put out the Bears' opponents for 2022. It's supposed to be an easier schedule than we had, because we had a tough one. So right now, obviously, the home schedule is the usual: Packers, Minnesota, Detroit. That always happens, because they're in our division, so we know that. And then Philadelphia Eagles come here. The Washington Admirals, it is their new name, comes here. The Buffalo Bills come here. Miami Dolphins come to Soldier Field. Houston Texans and the 49ers come to Soldier Field. The away schedule is the same. We start with Green Bay, Detroit, and Vikings, because they're in our division, so we play them twice. Then we've got the Dallas Cowboys, the New England Patriots, New York Giants, New York Jets. So, and I guess there's one more game. It depends about after the playoffs, they said. So there's one more game they got to add, and it's either going to be the Falcons or the Saints. And I don't know why. They said it has something to do with the playoffs, but they're not in the playoffs, so I'm a little confused by that, but whatever. So, I don't know. It could be a tough schedule. It could be an easy schedule, just because you can't go off of what happened this season, because everything changes nowadays. Now, back, 15, 20, 30 years ago, you could, because the players didn't jump around from team to team to team like they do now. When years ago, you stayed on a team. It was very rare that you jumped around after a couple years. And so that happens a lot. So the consistency isn't like it used to be. So teams, you just never know. I mean, there are some teams, if Rodgers is back, it's going to be a thorn in our side, that jerk. The Buffalo Bills are good. 49ers are good, Dallas, and New England. So we'll just have to see. But you know what? We'll see what happens. But it's kind of fun to see who we're playing. And then the free agents. In a couple months, we have 30 free agents, including 24 of them are unrestricted free agents. So I'll explain the difference. An unrestricted free agent can negotiate with any team of his choosing and go there. A restricted free agent is with his team, and he can go out and get other offers, but the Bears would have a right to match those. And if they don't, then they're released. So then they go ahead. If they don't want to retain them, then they go ahead. But so basically, one, you can just go out there and do whatever you want. The other one is you have to, once you get an offer from another team, you have to have your home team, who owns you right now, say yes or no if they want to match that offer. So there are some notables on that list. Allen Robinson, he's gone. He's not, I don't even want him back, to be honest with you. Akeem Hicks really sucks because, he's 32. He was hurt an awful lot this year, but I love him. And I would love for him to take a pay cut and stay with the Bears and retire. He says he wants to, but there's rumors that he got in a fight with some of the defensive coordinators after the second to last game. That's why he didn't play the last game. So if that's the case, he could be gone, maybe not, depending on what the fight was, right? But he's probably not going to be back, and it sucks because I have his jersey, and I really like that guy. Andy Dalton, he's gone. He only had a one-year deal with us, so I'm sure Foles will be the backup to Fields. And then there's some I'm just not sure about, like Jimmy Graham, tight end. I don't know what I want to do with him. And then there's German Ifedi. He's a right tackle. I say we keep him. And T. Gibson, which is our backfield of the defense, I'd like to keep him. Then there's some wide receivers that we don't hear about. Our punter, Pat O'Donnell, I like him. We got to keep him. Our guard, James Daniel, on our offensive line, I like to keep him. Our third running back, Damon Williams, I like that guy. I like to keep him too. I think it'd be good. Actually, he's our third behind Montgomery and Herbert, and then him. Because I don't believe that Cohen is going to come back. He has had setbacks. I don't think he's coming back. But I'd like to keep number 8, Damian Williams. Marquise Goodwin, 84. He was a wide receiver. He's a good second and third. I'd like to see if we could keep him. Our long snapper, Patrick Scales. We want to keep him because he's good. And then there's some other guys. Alec Ogletree, they only signed him, I believe, to a one-year contract when he joined the Bears in August last year. And I like him. I'm not saying he's, I'd like to draft another linebacker to help out Roquan Smith, number 58. But I like Ogletree to put in when the guys are new, but I'd like to see him keep. I like him. And then there's Artie Burns, our cornerbacks, and then there's Nichols on the defensive. He's a defensive end. I'd like to see him kept. So there's some guys out there that it's a lot. 30 free agents and 24 of them are unrestricted. So the Bears have some work to do. They really, really do. So, with trying to hire a head coach, a new GM, and then start to work on the contracts. And then you've got the draft after that. So, and the Bears are, they don't have a first-round draft pick. They picked because of Fields, because they had to give it to New York to move up to get Fields last year. And, so they pick in the second round, and I think they're like 8th or 9th in the second round. So they're in the top 10 in the second round, which will help. what we need. I'm not going to go over that today because we have kind of beat that one to a dead horse. So the obvious one is the offensive line, for Christ's sake. Let's get an offensive line. So let's see. It's going to be a long, tough offseason for the Bears uppers, the head coaching, the GM, trying to find both of those and then deal with the all the free agents and then the draft. So it's going to be, and then see if we can get some guys in free agency ourselves. There is a lot of cap space this year, which is good because that was a problem last year for the Bears, not apparently this year. So let's see if they're smart about it. That was the one thing. Pace was good and bad. He made some good picks, and then he made some bad picks, and then he paid some players more than I think they were worth to get them, and so I don't know. We'll see, but good luck, Bears. You guys, your plate is full, man. And then we have playoff games starting this weekend. I love this time of year for that, even though it's a mixed bag for me because then I know the season's almost over and then I go into a depression in the month of February. So let's talk about the playoff games. So the first one is the Raiders at Cincinnati Bengals. I'm picking Cincinnati. Then New England visits the Buffalo Bills tomorrow. I'm picking Buffalo. Then on Sunday, the Philadelphia Eagles play Tampa Bay. I'm picking Tampa Bay all the way. Then the 49ers go to Dallas and play Dallas Cowboys. I'm picking an upset. I don't know if it's an upset, but I'm guessing probably the Cowboys are favored. I'm going with 49ers in this one. I don't know. I just think they have a better defense. If Garoppolo doesn't throw interceptions like he likes to, he usually throws about 2 a game. If he doesn't do that, I think the 49ers have a really good shot of winning that game. So, and then the last game on Sunday, wait a minute, isn't there a game on Monday night? There is, and I don't know which game that is, but the last game, right now I have on my sheet is the Pittsburgh Steelers and Kansas City. And, yeah, I think there is. These are only the weekend games. Lynn, I must have missed that, so I apologize. So I'll just pick the weekend games. So the Steelers and Kansas City, they go to Kansas City, and I'm picking Kansas City all the way. The Steelers just got in by the hair of their chinny chin. So we'll see, right? So I don't know, guys. We got to be positive, okay? I'm just not going to say anything other negative because, you know what? All we want is a winner. And Virginia McCaskey is 99. She ain't living forever, so I think we need to get her a good season and at least a playoff run in 2022 and maybe in 2023. I don't know. Maybe we go to the Super Bowl. I don't know. Who knows, right? I mean, you just don't know. But there's nothing better than I want is to be able to. My son and I, we've seen. He watched the 2006 Super Bowl, but he was young, and I'd really like to go through all of it with him as an adult. There's nothing more than seeing a Super Bowl win from the Chicago Bears with my son because he wasn't even a thought in 1985. I was married, but he wasn't even a thought yet. So let's go, Bears, right? Let's go. And I wish them a lot of luck. I just really hope they make the right decision on the head coach and the GM, but most importantly, the head coach. And he brings in good coordinators, and he mentors our young quarterback to make him a star. So the Bears, for once in their franchise history, can have a franchise quarterback. Can you even imagine what that would be like if we had somebody that was around forever and kept winning every year? I don't know what I'd do. None of us. I mean, we're not used to that, right? And I've been a fan since 1975, and believe me, I have not seen that. We've got lucky here and there, but no one consistently. We've had probably more quarterbacks than any team in the league, which is quite embarrassing. So let's hope. There was a couple more firings this week. I know the Texans coach got fired yesterday, and then Joe Judge got fired on Tuesday from the Giants. So I think that's going to be it for the firings, in my opinion. But who knows? But so the Bears have a lot of competition. There's about what, gosh, 6 or 7 head coaching openings. So the Bears better do their diligence and do it quickly, okay? So you don't miss out on the best head coach, okay? Look I almost made a mistake. I'm hoping I haven't made any today. So that's it. It's probably a boring show, but I'll be back. I'll probably come back maybe next week. Look for me and maybe talk about the next set of playoff games. And, of course, if the Bears make any decisions on head coach or GM, of course I'm coming. And I'm still keeping my fingers crossed that they can talk Jim Harbaugh coming out of Michigan. But with him doing well, because he said he's starting to recruit. So if he's starting to do that, that sounds like to me like a guy who's not going anywhere. And you know what? If he can have a winning season every year with the University of Michigan and beat Ohio State once in a while, he can live out his life in Michigan and be the head coach until he retires. Honestly, if he could go 9-3 at least or better every season, he'd be set. He wouldn't have to go anywhere. So, I can't blame him if he wants to stay, but come on, Jim. Come to the Chicago Bears and win us a Super Bowl, because we'll put you on a pedestal and we'll love you. You know that. All right. And as always, I thank you for watching. I love you guys. I love all my, faithful watchers. I know who you are. And I appreciate it. I really, really do. It means a lot. You know that. And you know what? As always, just be kind. Stop hate. Let's take care of each other. Let's just be good to each other. And just get along. Right? That's all I want. That would make me very happy. So, and let's keep our fingers crossed that the Bears do the right thing in the next coming days so we can breathe a sigh of relief and move on to get our free agents signed, go out and pick up some free agents once March hits. You can do that, and then work on the draft, okay? And make these few spots that we need to get better, and let's turn it around and have a frickin' winning season in 2022. If that doesn't happen, I mean it. I'm going to be so pissed. I'm going to go back to Illinois, and I'm going to go knock on George McCaskey's door. I might knock on his desk, too. But got to happen, right? All right, you guys, I love you. I hope you have an awesome weekend. I'm looking forward to the playoff games because, I'm a Bears fan first, but I'm also a football fan. I love football. I could watch it every day of the week. I really do. I love it. And so I'm going to be sitting down and chilling out doing that, okay? So I love you guys. And as always, keep on rock. What am I doing? What am I doing? Oh, my God. I can see myself on the screen, and I'm like, what the heck am I doing? Keep on rocking and rolling. Okay, wait a minute. Remember, pickled. All right, let's try this one more time, okay? I hope I made you laugh, because I probably didn't too much in the show today. So, as always, keep on rocking and rolling from Vegas, baby. Bye-bye.